Hi, my name is Lexi Steppen, and I have picked three themes from all the books we have been reading. And for my first theme, I picked Teachers Aren't Only Here to Teach the Curriculum. So, my first quote from Williams 2008 said, "As teachers, we soon learn that what students see is far beyond what we teach overtly. We most likely will never know what place we occupy in the lives of our students." Now, with this quote, it affects our learners because as a teacher, we don't know what we are putting off to each individual student because each student is different. So when we teach, we have to be careful. Another quote from her, Williams states, "Before we go any further as teachers, it wouldn't hurt to consider what it is that we bring from our own school experiences to our role as educators." Now, this is very important to me because every teacher is a role model, and as an educator, the students are growing up with these teachers, so they not only need to be a teacher, but they need to be a role model. From Selberg 2010 said, "The structure of the education system would provide access to better and more education for all. The form and content of curricula would focus on the development of individual, holistic personalities of children. The teacher education would be modernized to respond to needs arising from these developments." With Selberg, he really put out there that the curriculum isn't only just for the mathematics and the science and all that. It's about the actual development of the individual and the personality of the children. Williams 2008 said, "For others it seems the grade is an indicator of the space between perceived ability and perceived engagement of that ability, yet others assign grades based on effort." So with this, the grade isn't always the best way to go about things because each student is going to put in their effort, and sometimes it's the best and sometimes it's not the best, but someone else's best could be someone else's worst. So you never really know with the grades. Berliner and Glass 2014 said, "Performance-based accountability for schools has the same effect, but on the school level rather than the classroom level." With this, and the teachers, when they're not only here to teach the curriculum, the classroom level compared to the school level is a lot different because the school could be great for the children and the classroom could not be so great because it depends on the teacher, and the teacher needs to be a role model, and if they're not being a role model, then what are they really doing there? So for our struggle for this theme, I have from the Presidential Candidate's View on Education, the Common Core State Standards Initiative defines what students should know in terms of language and mathematics at each grade level, K through 12. I picked this one because, with that being said, this is only talking about the actual curriculum, like the mathematics, the language, all in those terms. We need to focus not only on that because that is a very important part of education, not only that, but also, like I was saying, the role model part, teaching values and morals and all of that business. So for my second theme, I picked bullying in schools needs to be stopped by the school so all students can feel safe when getting an education. Berliner and Glass states, "Some would say that there is nothing the schools can do to prevent bullying, that teen suicide is a result of serious mental health problems in individuals, and nothing the schools can do will change this, but research begs to differ." I do not agree with that because every day these kids go to school and they have so much influence on from the teachers, from the students around them, their peers, everyone. And I think the schools can really do something about that. And like that quote said, research begs to differ. So I would beg to differ as well. With Williams 2008 said, "We know that you, parents, expect us to protect them, students, from bullies and bad words and bad thoughts and bad self-esteem. And we do our best, but we don't know how to protect them against this, the Red Lake shooting." This affects the learners because it is the school's, not only the school's responsibility, also the home life, but the school has a big impact. And if they're doing their best, I think they need to do better. And this affects the learners because things like this, like the Red Lake shooting, that makes the students not feel safe in the school environment, and then it's harder to learn. Sahlberg 2010 states, "Because Finland has been able to keep schools as centers of learning and caring, teachers can concentrate on what is important and what they do best, teach." This is awesome because if you are keeping the environment safe and caring and all students feel involved and there isn't bullying going on around, then they can focus on the teaching, on the learning. And that's really important because that's the point of going to school. So we can get an education and we can aspire and reach our goals in life. With the organization, this one, the Lifting All Children Up Project, this is my struggle I picked up. Recognizing that the opportunity gap goes well beyond school control, she explains how efforts to promote equality must include a broader set of services. This is a struggle because it doesn't necessarily mean that you need more than just the school. Like there's programs you can do. I've done a bunch of research on it when I was in high school, and bullying is super important to not happen. And this just really shows that it's not always beyond the school's control with the little things, and the little things can become the big things. So from AmeriCorps in Education, this is my success. Creating a home connection between members and students' families. Now this was a goal of AmeriCorps, and this is a good goal because if you connect the students and the members and their families, then it's more of a community. And with a community, there's going to be a lot less bullying, a lot less room to bully because everyone knows each other and it's a good community and it feels like home when you go to school and you're not nervous or anything. You can just focus and learn. My third theme that I picked was taking Finland's education system and converting it into the U.S. education system could be remarkable. Williams wrote, "If we believe that success can be unlimited, that all can be successful, then we need to change some pretty big systems to allow us to build on all of our children's strengths." This is really big because if we want something to change, we need to change it. And as a learner, and how it affects all learners is we, as the learner, don't know how to change because we're there to learn. Now we need the community and the school board and the education system to step up and change it for us. And if you're going to change, you got to change. You can't just keep talking about it. Williams wrote, "The truth is we don't need to do the things the way they have always been done." And that is the truth because we get comfortable, and then once we get comfortable, we start realizing that everything is going downhill and we can be better than that. So Sahlberg wrote, "Today Finland is regarded as one of the world's most literate societies. This is why I think that we should go into the Finland's education system because they are the most literate society, and if we want to be the best, then we have to at least be in the same path as the best and maybe be even better than the best." Sahlberg wrote, Finland has an education system in which young people learn well and performance differences among schools are small, and all with reasonable cost and human effort. That means that if we did switch over to the Finland's education system, we would want it to be a reasonable cost and, not as much, like a lot more human effort from the entire US. So all of our students can grow and be the best that they can be. Sahlberg wrote, all of the factors that are behind the Finnish success seem to be the opposite of what is taking place in the United States and much of the rest of the world, where competition, test-based accountability, standardization, and privatization seem to dominate. This is super big because the US, that is all they're focused on. The competition, the standardization, the testing, all of that. But the testing isn't really doing much because a lot of people say that the testing isn't the best way to see our intelligence, like the measurement of the intelligence. We need to switch over to the Finland education system because of that reason. And with competition, not all of our learners learn great with competition and testing and everything. There are some out there, but if we can find something where everyone is good at it and we can see the measurement and a good measurement of our intelligence, then I think that's the way we need to go. Berliner and Glass 2014 wrote, many Americans, news reporters and politicians especially, have been duped into thinking the U.S. education system is in crisis. International test scores are poor indicators to use in ranking the quality of national education systems, and even worse in predicting future national prosperity. Like I just said, that a lot of people have been saying that the international test scores are a poor indicator of the ranking of our intelligence. And so if we keep having this problem, then we need to change. The success I found for this theme in the organization I picked was the Lifting All Children Up project. He, Horst Mann, argued that education should be free and universal. While much progress has been made in establishing a universal education system since Mann spoke these words, substantial disparities in educational resources, opportunities, and outcomes to undermine his vision, and ultimately our society. This is a big one because it has, like, we have to be better than who we are, and if we want to change, then we need change. And back then, when Horst Mann argued that education should be free and universal, we did that and we changed, but it wasn't all of his vision, and I think we can live up to that. We just have to really focus and get all of our community members together and all of our board members of school and everything together and make that change. Now for the struggle from presidential candidates on education. Many conservatives advocate for national testing standard or other forms of standard-based education. Generally, any reference to standards, or especially to dealing with failing schools, implies support of school vouchers. Like I said, national testing isn't the best way to go. That's what United States is the testing and the competition and all of that. And that's not what school should be about. The learning is what it should be about. And us as learners, we should want to learn. And when we want to learn, then we're going to have better lives for us and for our world, and we can accomplish so much more. So with that being said, thank you.